Hello and welcome back to another Football Commentaries live stream. The Championship is back and has returned this weekend after 3 months away. It is a division where no script can be written and nothing can ever be predicted. To close off the EFL weekend, newly promoted Cardiff City host Hollywood Wrexham at the Cardiff City Stadium. For the Bluebirds, they sank down into League One after relegation, finishing bottom of the Championship 2 seasons ago. But under the management of Brian Barry Murphy, they were able to bounce back up at the first time of asking after finishing second in the third division. It was a winning start to the season for Cardiff last weekend as they beat League Two Swindon 3-2 in the first round of the League Cup. And for Wrexham, it had been 43 years since they last played in the second tier of English football, and they completed the campaign with an impressive 7th place finish, missing out on the playoffs by just 2 points. But including the back of end of pre-season, it is 3 losses in a row for Phil Parkinson's Wrexham side after losing 1-0 away from home to Middlesbrough in the League Cup first round after a fantastic finish from their new man, Will Lancashire. Despite being in different leagues last season, these two did meet at the racecourse in the 4th round of the League Cup in late October. It was Cardiff who came out on top with a 2-1 win, taking the lead through Salek and winning it after Fish scored his first Cardiff City goal after a more equaliser for Wrexham. With both teams wanting the Welsh bragging rights, will it be Cardiff or Wrexham to start the new season with 3 points? It is the south of Wales against the north of Wales. It is a Welsh derby almost. They are quite far in distance. It's around 138 miles between the two places, but it is still going to be a fierce rivalry. I think that will grow this season. They did meet last season, as mentioned, in the League Cup 4th round, and it was Cardiff who took an early lead in the 13th minute through their striker Yusuf Salek, and then Kiefer Moore equalised just after half-time, and then they won it in the 71st minute through Will Fish, who is missing tonight for Cardiff City. He's going to be out for another 3 months, it looks like, after having a hernia operation. For Wrexham, they will feel like this season they can try and go and get one more position up the league table, try and get into those playoff positions. As mentioned before, finished 2 points off Hull in 6th, who ended up being promoted from the playoffs. Finished on 71 points. 19 wins from their 46. For a first season back after 43 years in the second division, I think it was a more than respectable Wrexham season. I know, of course, they would have spent a lot of money, and they have, but they've not brought as many signings in this time around. 2 new signings included in the matchday squad. 3 signings, included in the matchday squad tonight, with a debut for one man in particular who we'll touch upon very shortly. But we are just under 7 minutes away from kick-off here at the Cardiff City Stadium. Cardiff won here last weekend against Swindon in the League Cup first round. They went 1-0 down in the 9th minute due to a Gabriel Osho own goal, and then they equalised through Yusuf Salek from the penalty spot, and then he also scored another goal to get them 2-1 up right before half-time. They were then pegged back by Swindon, but then with 13 minutes to go, one of their new signings, Jack Moylan from Lincoln, a team that also got promoted last season from League One, winning the title ahead of Cardiff. He was able to get his first goal in his first Cardiff appearance and send them through to the second round of the League Cup, where Cardiff will take on Norwich at home. And for Wrexham, they were on the opposite side of a result. It was a defeat for them away to Middlesbrough, just the 1 goal separating those two. Will Lancashire in the 61st minute. It was very much Middlesbrough who was just edging the statistics anyway, had more shots, more on target, a little bit more possession as well. But for Wrexham, it is 3 defeats in a row at the moment if you include pre-season, that 1-0 defeat, and they've all been 1-0 defeats. In fact, 1-0 to Middlesbrough, they also got beat 1-0 to Sunderland in Pennsylvania, and they also got beat 1-0 to Liverpool in New York. But they did have a pretty tough pre-season, some very competitive matches. To only lose 1 to Sunderland and Liverpool. They also beat Leeds United 3-2 in Florida. And then they also beat Manchester United in Finland by a 0-0. Sam Smith, the scorer, who's on the bench tonight. That is, I think, really solid preparation for a season in the Championship, because the Championship is, as mentioned in my pre-match build-up, it is predictable. You can't write the script. So to really challenge yourself against teams in the Premier League will have you more than set and ready for the Championship, even though they did come out as the losers in the last two pre-season games. Like I say, it was only by a 0-0 goal for Rio Engamoa for Liverpool in that game, and then Mukiele got the goal for Sunderland in that one. So don't think Phil Parkinson will be too concerned, in all honesty. As for Wrexham, their away record last season was mediocre. 9 wins from 23, winning 3 of their last 8 against Oxford, Sheffield United and Charlton. They'll be wanting to get off to a winning start tonight, that is for sure. And for Cardiff, they lost just the 4 games at home here this season, 2 in their last 6 against Wycombe and also Lincoln, who of course beat them to the league title, as we've got both sets of starting 11s in the tunnel ready to emerge onto the field of play. We are going to go through both sets of starting 11s quickly, and you can already see them on screen, as we'll start with Cardiff City, and it's Nathan Trott in goal, signed on a permanent deal in the summer after last season's loan spell from Copenhagen for a reported fee of £1.5 million. It's going to be a back four, not quite sure what order they're going to be in, but these are the 4 that will make up the back line. It's Callum Scanlon in from the start. He signed again on loan from Liverpool after spending the second half of last season here on loan. Also, he joined on Saturday, as it will be him. Maybe at right back, but we'll have to wait and see. Joel Bagan will play left back. The Irish former under-21 international was actually called up to the senior squad in their May international fixtures, but pulled out due to injury. And then 2 centre-halves will be Perry Ng, the captain, who's now been at the club since January 2021, and he'll play alongside Gabriel Osho, who is the only other senior centre-back fit in this Cardiff City squad at the moment. We've got 2 holding midfielders of Alex Robertson, formerly of Manchester City, worked with the Cardiff City head coach Brian Barry Murphy at Manchester City's academy team, and he'll play alongside the captain, the new signing, Jack Moylan, brought in from Lincoln, and that was a record sale for Lincoln City as they also moved up to the Championship. It's going to be 3 behind the striker. On the right-hand side will be Ollie Tanner. On the left will be Chris Willock, who starts instead of Isaac Davis, as he was on the bench. Chris Willock for the League Cup fixture against Swindon. In the number 10 position is going to be Cian Ashford, who assisted the second goal in that 3-2 win against Swindon last weekend. And through the middle, leading the line, will be Yusuf Salek, who scored twice and assisted the other goal in the League Cup win against Swindon. He scored 14 League One goals last season. For Wrexham, it is their new signing brought in last Tuesday, and that is Anthony Patterson, who joins from Sunderland for £8 million. Spent the second half of last season alone at Millwall, where they lost in the semi-finals of the playoffs. 3 centre-halves of Zach Viner, Dominic Hyam, the captain, and Callum Doyle. 5 along the midfield at right wing-back is another new signing, Danny Imre from Crystal Palace for £5 million. On the left-hand side of the wing-backs, it's George Thomason, and 3 central midfielders of Ollie Rathbone, Matty James, and Lewis O'Brien, with 2 up front of Nathan Broadhead and also Kiefer Moore, who's got a fantastic record against Cardiff City, scoring 6 in his last 6, and in those 6 goals, one of them was last season in their League Cup defeat to Cardiff at the race course. So they are the 2 starting 11s. What do you make of the chances of the 3 Welsh clubs? Could any of them contend for promotion for the Premier League? Naturally, I see Wrexham. Yeah, I think Wrexham will be the strongest of the lot. I think they've got a really well-drilled system with Phil Parkinson, who, of course, has been at the club now since 2021. I think Cardiff have got to bring in more numbers, really light at the back. They've got a 15-year-old centre-half on the bench due to their lack of numbers. Like I mentioned before, Gabriel Osho is the only fit senior centre-back in the squad at the moment, but they've definitely got players who can light up this division, light up this league. It will be tough because the Championship is full of incredible quality this year. I definitely do think they'll be in and around the relegation spots, Cardiff, but I think with Brian Barry Murphy, a very intellectual head coach, I think they have got a good chance of staying up, but they'll definitely need to be bringing in more bodies before the end of this summer transfer window. And for Swansea, I quite like what they're doing at the moment. I think they're bringing in some good players. I think they've got to also keep Vipotnik if possible. I know he's had interest from the likes of Hull in the Premier League, but I think they're just a very steady Championship outfit at the moment. I know they won against Stoke away from home in their first game. So I think all Welsh teams have got all ends of the table covered. I think Wrexham will be towards the kind of top, the playoff spots. I think Swansea will kind of be in the mid-table, pushing for those playoffs. And I do think Cardiff will be down there, but I think they'll definitely fancy themselves to try and stay up this season, but it will be difficult. They cannot take their eye off the ball at any point. They've got to really earn the 3 points every time they go into one of these fixtures. As it's going to be Wrexham to kick us off. They're going to be kicking right to left, Cardiff left to right. It's South against North in this Welsh derby to kick off both of these sides' campaigns in the Championship this season. The ball's played all the way back to Patterson, the new Wrexham goalkeeper, who kick it long down the Wrexham right towards the edge of the area. It's a header away for Cardiff, headed back forward by Thomason towards the 18-yard area, flicked on by Kiefer Moore, straight into the gloves of Nathan Trott. And it is going to be a big kick out from the goalkeeper straight away, looking for Salek. It's going to go onto the head of Hyam, who can head it away for Wrexham towards the halfway line. Headed on by James. It's going to be controlled and kept alive by Imre, who can look for Matty James. He's battling and he loses out on the far side for Wrexham. It's slowed down and it's played into the Cardiff half, as it does look like it's going to be Joel Bagan as a left centre-back, Perry and G at right back, and Callum Scanlon at left back. So I have got the back four slightly muddled up in order, because I do know Perry and G did play centre-back against Swindon at the weekend, because Capaccio, the young right back, played right back, in G played right centre-half, Osho at left centre-back and Bagan at left back. So a slight shuffle from Brian Barry Murphy, who of course got Cardiff promoted last season, has suffered relegation in his career as well, relegated from League One during his time at Rochdale. As it's Wrexham on the left-hand side. Final third, Thomason. Forward here for Kiefer Moore. His first cross is blocked, but it bounces back to him. Here's Doyle. Forward to Thomason. Back to Lewis O'Brien. On the edge of the area, he's been bundled to the ground unfairly. And that's going to be a free kick on the edge of the area, left-hand side for Wrexham. Just a bit too physical in the challenge there, Yusuf Salek. As we're just over a minute and a half in. It's goalless, but both teams are well up for this game. Energy's high. And the want and the will to win is clear to see, as it is blue v red here in the Welsh capital. But it's some early defending for Cardiff City to do. Kept 17 clean sheets last season in League One, third most in the division. And the left foot of Lewis O'Brien is stood over at just one win in 6 in his career against Cardiff. He'll be wanting to add another victory to that tally tonight. He crosses it in. It's a dangerous ball. It's headed away to the edge of the box towards Thomason, who won't quite get there ahead of Ashford, and he's kicked it out to the Cardiff left, hooked away by Imre. In behind for Moore. The flag stays down for now. The angle's tight, but that's no problem for Kiefer Moore. It's 7-7 for the Welshman against Cardiff City. He loves playing against the Bluebirds, and he puts Wrexham ahead early on in the Welsh capital. It's a delightful finish by Kiefer Moore, who had to come off the bench in their opening game last weekend against Middlesbrough. He's got the nod this time around, and he has paid back the trust that Phil Parkinson has put into him tonight to start this fixture. It all started from the free kick, which was not convincingly dealt with by Cardiff, but they did get the ball away towards the halfway line. It was just hooked forward by Imre, who has been closed down by Willock, and it's Gabriel Osho who pushes out late, and it keeps Kiefer Moore on the side, right side of the box, about 6 yards out. The angle's tight, but with the right boot, side foots it over the goalkeeper, roof of the net, towards the far corner. That is a proper striker's finish, and that is why Kiefer Moore has had such a prolific career at this level, because you know he will score you goals, and that has kick-started his campaign. He's got his first goal of the season. It's Wrexham's first competitive goal of the new campaign, and it's Cardiff 0, Wrexham 1. Brilliant start for Phil Parkinson's side, and that'll bring so much confidence to Kiefer Moore, because that was not an easy finish, but it made it look so simple. And the fact that Gabriel Osho is Cardiff's only fit senior centre-back, and he's the one that's probably got the job of leading the Cardiff City back line, and he's just pushed out way too late. It was good officiating from the assistant referee to know that Kiefer Moore was certainly still onside. And it's another free kick for Wrexham on the far side, midway inside the Cardiff half. It's going to be a right-footed delivery from Matty James, and it goes towards the penalty spot, and it's headed behind by Perry and G. And it's a corner for Wrexham on the near side. It's a fierce start from the Red Dragons, who have travelled down south from the north of Wales. It's glanced off Moylan, then off, I think, the shoulder of Ng, but Cardiff were able to get it behind. But again, more defending for Barry Murphy's side to do. Just over 5 minutes in, Cardiff 0, Wrexham 1. It's going to be a in-swinger from the near side by the number 37, Matty James, who's got a contract until the end of this season after signing an extension in January of this year. In it goes to the near post, his header up in the sky, alive for Doyle to challenge if he can. It's ended up bouncing in the area. Doyle with the header, and it's tipped over by Trott. Had to get there, Cardiff's number 1, and it was almost a goal for Callum Doyle. Last time he scored in the Championship was in their 5-3 win against Ipswich at home back on the 21st of February. Also scored in their FA Cup defeat to Chelsea, Callum Doyle. A man who was promoted with Leicester a couple of seasons ago from the Championship. It's another in-swinger. O'Brien this time, header away at the near post. Drops to Imre, who got the assist for the opening goal. Works it back out wide right to O'Brien. Still in the final third. Keeping the ball away from Ashford for now. And number 45 can poke it out of play for Cardiff. It's going to be a throw-in for Wrexham. On the far side, still in the final third. I'm assuming a team like Wrexham, with all the height and physicality they've got, they'll offer a long throw-in. And that's exactly what they're going to do through Danny Imre, the new signing from Crystal Palace this summer. In it goes. It's a very direct throw, and it's headed away at the near post to the edge of the box to James, who sends it to the left-hand side. It's now Thomason via the pass from O'Brien. He swings it in. It's a header away at the near post by Robertson. All as far as Matty James, 25 yards out, lifts it in the box towards Doyle, who is coming back from an offside position. Flag goes up, and it's a free kick for Cardiff, 7 minutes in, and it has been all Wrexham as Trott is not wasting any time for Cardiff. He sends the ball quickly long. Not quite sure where that ball's ended up because they've cut to a replay of the Callum Doyle header that was saved. It's Wrexham back with the ball. Doyle flies out to the right, challenging ball to control for James, and he chests it straight into the path of Ashford, so Cardiff have it back. On the far side, it's Chris Willock. Plays it into his right towards Ashford, just behind him, collected by O'Brien. Plays it back 5 yards to Rathbone on the far side. Forced to go into his defensive third here to Viner. And then forward to the right wing back of the central midfielder of Rathbone. Back to Zach Viner. They brought in the last winter window from Bristol City. Long ball up towards Kiefer Moore, who's coming back from an offside position. So lets it run through. And it's now with the right centre half of Gabriel Osho for Cardiff City, who was promoted via the playoffs of Luton back in the 2022-23 season, scoring in the playoff semi-final home leg against Sunderland as a long ball goes forward towards Salek. He wins the first contact, but then volleyed away by Thomason straight off the head of Moylan. It's now with Ollie Tanner on the right-hand side in the final third. First opportunity for Cardiff to get forward. Tanner back to Ng, through the gap. Great ball. Moylan in the area. Back to goal. Can he lay it off? Works it to Tanner, who takes on Thomason. Tanner tries to lift it in. It's blocked off by Doyle. Corner kick on the near side for Cardiff, who are just starting to try and find their rhythm in this game after a lively Wrexham start, which has resulted in them taking an early lead. Wrexham make it quickly in the right decision that way. It would be a great away game. I mean, I'm sure that away end went absolutely crazy when that opening goal went in. Just relieves so much pressure when you take an early lead in a game which will have a lot of emotion riding on it, as it's an in-swinger from the left boot of Bagan towards the back post. Bit of tussling between Osho and Doyle, and the referee sees it through for a goal kick, doesn't think anything of it. Andrew Kitchen, who began officiating in the EFL at the start of the 2021-22 season, so starting to get a lot more experience, the referee tonight. I mean, they were both having a hold of each other. I really don't think there's anything in that. I think the referee has made the right decision. It's a long ball headed up by Kiefer Moore just towards the centre circle. It's a head on by Robertson for Cardiff, but all as far as James, who works to Zach Viner. Here's O'Brien on the halfway line. loads of time for him to bring it into the Cardiff half, just in front of the centre circle. Ends up going back to Viner, who switches it cross-field to the left-hand side to Thomason, chests it down and keeps it in. Brilliant touch from the former Bolton man. Back to the halfway line to Doyle. Into James, into the midfield. First time ball over the top down the left-hand side for Broadhead. He will get there ahead of Robertson, who's in a right-back position for Cardiff. Here's Nathan Broadhead. Lays it off for Thomason. Here's O'Brien to Doyle. Forward into the area. Rathbone looks for Broadhead. Good interception by Robertson. It's now Cardiff City on the ball. Here's Chris Willock just drifting over to this near side for the Bluebirds. It's now in G, the right back to the edge of the area to Osho. Finds the left centre-half of Bagan, who's primarily a left-back, but due to the lack of centre-backs they've got Cardiff, he's having to play centre-half as a ball over the top by Robertson's overcooked straight through to Anthony Patterson in between the sticks for Sunderland for the first time tonight. Born in North Shields, the 6'2" goalkeeper. He's making his 155th Championship appearance, so plenty of experience for him in this division. As he kicks it up into the air towards the halfway line to the Wrexham right, controlled brilliantly off the thigh of Rathbone. Then lifts it back to Viner, who plays it forward on the ground to Moore, who then lays it off out to the right to Rathbone. They're really in the swing of things early on, Wrexham. Here's Kiefer Moore on the turn. Gets it away from Bagan, but was tripped as he was doing so. Free kick on the halfway line for Wrexham, taken quickly with an audacious switch out towards Thomason. Well cut out by Perry and G, the 30-year-old, who came on as a late sub when these two met in the League Cup last season. Here's Moylan in between the lines, runs into traffic of Doyle, and it deflects to James, and Wrexham have it just before the halfway line, and they bring it into the Cardiff half with Viner, forward from right centre-half. Down the right-hand side it goes. Imre with the touch inside, and a sliding tackle clearance from Callum Scanlon concedes the corner. Had to get across and stop the cross because Danny Imre had found himself in a dangerous position in the 18-yard box. Took a touch which was heavy, but it was what was going to get him around Scanlon. But Cardiff's new loan signing just about had enough pace to get across and get the touch to the ball. And on the far side, two arms in the air from Lewis O'Brien. It's going to be a left-footed in-swinger into the 6-yard area, right on top of the goalkeeper who can get a punch away, but then it drops to James, who gets right underneath it, sends it flying over the crossbar. Just under 12 minutes in here at the Cardiff City Stadium. It's Cardiff City 0, Wrexham 1. A goal within 3 minutes from Kiefer Moore into the top left corner. It was a real striker's goal, as it is Nathan Broadhead to win it back in the Cardiff half for Wrexham. Lewis O'Brien about 10 yards inside the Cardiff half. He's gone out to this near side to Thomason, the left wing back. James back into Doyle as we're into the centre circle now with Rathbone. Back into Doyle. Out wide left it goes to Thomason, 10 yards before the halfway line. Curls it down the left channel. It's going to be given chase to by Broadhead. It will be met by Robertson, who will go back to his goalkeeper of Trott, well dealt with by the Australian holding midfielder. And that will be Cardiff City back in possession. Oh, they had a third of the ball so far, Cardiff, and yet to test Anthony Patterson. It's Trott to go towards Salek in the centre circle. Header won by Hyam. Well won. Straight into Rathbone. Here's O'Brien in the centre circle. Allowed to turn and play out to the left-hand side to Thomason. Marauding from left wing back. Low ball to the edge of the area. Laid off backwards by Rathbone to Doyle. They really do get the centre-backs up the pitch well. Wrexham to join in on build-up when they're building down that specific side. As it's Viner in behind. Fantastic ball. Imre with the cross. And it's a goal kick. Almost caught the goalkeeper out at the near post. I think it was meant to be a cross from the right wing back, but just couldn't quite get his boot around the ball and ended up just going dead straight and just beyond the side netting. Again, Gabriel Osho playing him on side. He's got to sort that line out, Cardiff's number 4, because he was at fault for the goal due to his lack of speed of getting up the pitch and trying to get that line as high as possible. As Cardiff have got it in the midfield. A bit of time seems like the first time in the game for Alex Robertson, who will calmly play it to the left centre-back of Bagan on halfway. Goes across to his centre-back partner of Osho. Bringing the ball forward 10-15 yards and playing it out wide right to Ollie Tanner, who's got the overlap of Ng. We're in the final third. He goes on the outside of Thomason. Cross comes off the Wrexham man, then back off Tanner. That's going to be a goal kick for Wrexham. Well won there by George Thomason, born in Barrow. Came through at Blackpool. Played centre-back when these two sides met in the League Cup last season. George Thomason. This is just his second ever Championship campaign, played the majority of his career in League One. But when Cardiff played at home last season, they usually won. 17 wins from 23 at home in the league last season, winning their last 3 in a row. Did lose their last game of the season, 5-4 away to Mansfield, a crazy 9-goal thriller as Wrexham broke away in the area. Rathbone with the ball across the box on the 6-yard line, dealt with by Robertson, but not convincingly. Here's O'Brien. Just in front of the centre circle is Hyam as Wrexham start from the back. Goes to his left, 10 yards to O'Brien. Forward to Broadhead. Doyle. O'Brien's made the run forward. He's been found as well. Flag stays down. Works out to the left side to Thomason. Cross goes in. It's deep. It goes towards Imre, who pushes Scanlon in the back. And that'll be a free kick for Cardiff in the 18-yard box. Just a bit too physical with the hand in the back. Danny Imre, signed for £5 million from Crystal Palace. Spent the first half of last season on loan at Blackpool and then spent the second half of the season on loan with Championship West Brom, scoring once away against Watford back towards the end of April. But there is a lot for Phil Parkinson to be pleased about so far in Wrexham's opening Championship game of the season, as they've won it on the far side with Rathbone on the halfway line, being sandwiched between Willock and Scanlon. Last touch off the Wrexham number 20, and that'll be a throw-in for Cardiff City to be taken by their new signing Callum Scanlon, who did spend last season here on loan from January onwards, just starting the 2 league games against Port Vale in April and Barnsley in the March. He throws it long, headed away by Viner, and also on once more by O'Brien, and then also by Rathbone, straight to Broadhead, who's going to find Kiefer Moore with the pass potentially. He's had to keep hold of it, been shrugged to the ground by Osho. It's well won back by Cardiff City. Here's Moylan, gets beyond O'Brien through the legs, beyond the halfway line, sees a ball to the left. It's a brilliant switch. Here's Chris Willock, one-on-one with Imre, into the area, wants it on his right foot, plays it back to the edge of the box to Robertson. Slightly slowed down, Wrexham get bodies back. He's now on the right wing position with Ollie Tanner. Shifts it onto his left foot and delivers a teasing ball in. Not dealt with. There's a foul on Dominic Hyam on the 6-yard line. And it is a free kick to Wrexham. It's the first real moment of attacking prowess from Cardiff City, even though it did end in a foul committed by Yusuf Salek. I mean, the one man who's really looking lively and full of quality tonight so far for Cardiff is their new signing, Jack Moylan, who was promoted with Lincoln as champions from League One last season. Scored 11 league goals, 3 in his last 6. Was also named in the division's team of the season. Wrexham go long, flicked on by Kiefer Moore, then headed back by Imre, who lands awkwardly. It's not a head injury, but the referee will stop play because he does seem in a little bit of pain here. Danny Imre, the 23-year-old wing-back, just went up for the header and just seems to have landed quite heavily on his arm. So I think both sets of players will just see this as a bit of a water break, bit of a timeout, get some fluids on board, get a little bit of tactical info if needed. Kiefer Moore, the Welshman, born in Torquay, but has featured for Wales 54 times in his career, was injured in the March international break where Wales failed to qualify for the World Cup. He's actually Welsh through his grandfather, Kiefer Moore, now at the age of 34, turned 34 9 days ago. But he got down the right side of the area. The angle was getting tighter and tighter, but his side-footed finish just to lift it over Trott. It's just brilliant, and it's not an easy finish because Nathan Trott is a big presence in that goal. He's around 6'2", 6'3". But Kiefer Moore just made it look so easy. And it's now 7 in 7 for him against Cardiff City. He scored 2 braces against them back in February 2020 and December 2024. And then he's scored just a single goal against them in games that he played against them back in March 2024 and October 2025. Just holding his right shoulder, Danny Imre, who, if he had to come off, they do have a like-for-like swap with Ryan Longman, who they brought in a year and a half ago from Hull City. Yeah, just fell right on the arm as he went to win the header on Joel Bagan. Yeah, just a bit of an awkward landing on the right shoulder. So less than 20 minutes in, Cardiff 0, Wrexham 1, a third-minute Kiefer Moore goal, the difference so far in this clash between two huge Welsh clubs, South against North. Wrexham do stay in Wales for the next game. They play at home to Watford, who of course picked up a brilliant victory against spying Southampton. Sorry, I had to have a little dig. Do apologise. That's low of me, that. As we're back underway, and it's Imre, who is not quite back on the pitch yet. It's Scanlon for Cardiff, taking it towards the byline. Low cross to the near post. Deflects off Viner. Takes the pace off it, straight into the gloves of Anthony Patterson for Wrexham. He's going to kick it out of his hands, up into the air. Still waiting for Imre to come back onto the pitch. It's up to the halfway line towards Kiefer Moore. Misses the first header. And then Scanlon wins the second, back to Bagan. Then helps it on once more to Trott in the 18-yard area. And Cardiff build out from the back. It's Gabriel Osho. Forward and out to the right to Ng. Just takes it beyond the halfway line. Goes inside to Robertson. And then back to Osho. 15-yard pass across to his left to Bagan as Imre's back on the field for Wrexham. It's a crossfield ball to the right to Tanner. Controls it. Then plays it back 10 yards to Ng. Midway side the Wrexham half. Looking to go back out wide, and he does with Tanner. Ng's continued his run. He's been found. Here is Ng in the area. Has to play it back to Moylan, who goes to the cross. It cannons off Doyle. And that's a throw in the final third on the near side for Cardiff City, who will just want to put Wrexham under a little bit of pressure just to make them known that they're in a game and they're going to make this difficult despite a slow start. Ng, back to Robertson. Into a more central area now to Joel Bagan. Takes a touch forward and then the pass forward. Salek tries to turn and shoot. The pass back short. Salek gets there. Is he caught? Referee says no. Patterson judged to have got the ball. And that's a let-off for Wrexham. Lapse of concentration there from Zach Viner. And he was bailed out by his new goalkeeper, Anthony Patterson. First real sniff at goal for Cardiff. Out wide to the right to Ng. Here's Tanner, the danger man, with that wand of a left boot. Goes on the outside instead of Thomason. Lashes the ball in. It's high overhit. It will be kept in, though, on the opposite flank by Scanlon. Inside to Moylan. Here's Robertson. About 10 yards in front of the halfway line now is Bagan. Goes across 5 yards to his right to Robertson. Far side is Scanlon. Back into their own half to Bagan. It's good pressing from Wrexham to force Cardiff backwards. Osho. Across to Bagan once more. Playing a high ball out to the right once again. It won't quite reach Tanner. Glanced away by Thomason. Throwing for Cardiff. Taken quickly here to Ng, the captain. We signed a new 2-year extension back in May of this year. Perry Ng till 2028. Another switch out to the left this time. And it's controlled by Willock. He's fending off the pressure of an Imre. But no foul given despite being pulled to the ground. Cardiff City fans not happy at all with Andrew Kitchen, the referee. Here is Imre, who's stopped in his tracks by Ashford. And Cardiff City quickly win the ball back. That's good. It's a good regain on the turnover, that, from Cardiff City. Just under 23 minutes in, Cardiff 0. Wrexham 1. Kiefer Moore with the goal in the 3rd minute. It's to the near side to Ng. Forward to Moylan, midway inside the Wrexham half. He has got Tanner ahead of him. Drives himself into the final third. Overruns it. Tackled by Thomason. Here's Broadhead. Doyle forward to O'Brien. Then finds Moore in a central area. Lays off to Rathbone. Then out to the far side to Imre. Will he get there? And Scanlon? No, he won't. It's well seen out for a throw-in by Cardiff's number 23. And it's a throw-in on the halfway line for the home side. Last time they were in this division, Cardiff, they did finish bottom, winning just 9 of their 46 games. He had the least wins in the division. Second least was Preston with 10, who finished in 20th position. Here's Ollie Tanner. Plays it inside to Moylan. Touches it onto Ashford. Will it break loose for Salek? No, it can't. Cleared by Doyle, not convincingly. Here's Robertson, 30 yards from goal. Just lays it off to his left to Scanlon. Now Willock on the far side. 1-on-1 for Imre. He's got Scanlon overlapping. Tries to cut inside. Works it back to Robertson. Here's Bagan, the left centre-half. Time on the ball. Couple of options. Wanting to make the right pass if possible. Robertson back out wide. It goes to Scanlon. This is the first real time where Wrexham are having to defend for a significant period of time. Robertson. to the right centre half of Osho, who's just in front of the halfway line. Works it to the right back of Ng. Inside to Moylan, lets it run. Brilliant piece of skill. Here's Salek. Touches out to the right to Tanner. Turns on Thomason. Just inside the area, right-hand side, low ball. Moylan shoots. He's off balance. He goes wide and over, but it's much better from Cardiff City. Just under 25 minutes in, still Cardiff 0, Wrexham 1. And certainly their best performer so far has been Jack Moylan, their new signing. Dublin-born, Irish international, scored a hat-trick for them on his debut for them against Grenada back in the May international break, where Ireland linked up and played a couple of friendlies. It was the first time an Irishman had scored on their debut, a hat-trick on their debut, for 39 years. And he has played for a couple of clubs in Ireland as well before moving to England, playing for the likes of Bohemians, Wexford on loan, Shelbourne as well. That has been Cardiff the last 5 or so minutes, who have just grown into the game, having more of the ball, getting towards the Wrexham 18-yard box, as here is Osho to right back in G. First time pass into the midfield to Alex Robertson. Takes it into the centre circle. Keeps driving out wide to the left, not being pressed at the moment. In between the lines for Ashford. Shows too much of the ball to Hyam, who gets across his man illegally. And that'll be a free kick for Cardiff, just towards the left-hand side. Referee will pull it back. Tried to play it quickly there, Cardiff. Tried just dinking in behind for Yusuf Salek. Play it short and go back to the halfway line to Bagan. Finds Osho, the number 4. Facing forward, then playing it across to Bagan. Long ball out to the right-hand side. Will Thomason meet it? No, he won't. Touched inside by Tanner. Can't quite get around Thomason. Cleared up the field by O'Brien, only as far as Ng. Brings it into the final third for Cardiff. 1-2 with Moylan. Great flick. Ng. Ashford. Can he work space for a shot? He can. And it's saved by Patterson. 2 arms up above his head to catch the ball. A lot better from Cardiff in the last 5 minutes. Jack Moylan seems to be a really tidy technical player. Brilliant flick into Ng, who eventually worked it to Ashford, the number 45, who couldn't quite score. Not scored in the league, well, in a league game since Doncaster away, which is at the end of February. As Wrexham try and double their lead. Kiefer Moore from afar, right-footed shot, deflects. It's just kept in the hands of Nathan Trott, who was then just bumped into on the rebound by Ollie Rathbone. Almost spilt it, the goalkeeper. And Ollie Rathbone was following it in. Ball was played to the left flank to Kiefer Moore from O'Brien. Then he cut inside onto his right foot, about 22 yards away from goal. Let fly, took a slight nick off Bagan. And tried to watch the ball, almost just put it on a plate for Rathbone, who just slightly ran into Trott by accident. Nothing major. It's Cardiff, play out from the back. Bagan brings it out of the 18-yard area as he's being chased down by Rathbone, who's just a bit too far away from him to make him be put under major pressure. Robertson across to Osho. Just inside the Wrexham half. Plays it forward and out to the right to Tanner. He's got Ng behind him. Plays it inside to Moylan. Tried to play it back to him first time, but it deflects back to Moylan, who can't work it to Ng. Ng with the deflected ball off the Doyle pass, and it works its way to Robertson. To the far side to Willock. He's got the run off the ball of Scanlon. Doesn't use him. Cuts inside. Whips a ball in. It's a header away on the penalty spot by Hyam. Flicked back by Robertson. Found Kiefer Moore, but then tackles Moore. And it's well won back by Robertson. It's Ng to this far side again to Ollie Tanner. Running at Thomason. Goes on the outside, the right foot. Again the cross. Comes off Thomason. And then again comes off Tanner. And that's going to be another goal kick for Wrexham. 28.5 minutes in. And it's Cardiff 0, Wrexham 1. But certainly the last 5 to 8 minutes, Cardiff have really found themselves back in this game. The last time Cardiff were in this division, they were finished 5 points off safety, just won one of their last 12 games in the league, and that was away to Blackburn in the middle of March. Did go 6 unbeaten from the start of October towards the start of November, 4 wins and 2 draws, but it was a pretty dismal season from start to finish overall for the Bluebirds, who want to show a better account of themselves this time around. It's in G at right back, just inside the Wrexham half. He's been bullied by O'Brien off the ball, but the free kick has been given by the referee. So a set piece once more for Cardiff City. Osho to the near side to Ng once again. Tackled by Broadhead. He then pulls his shirt. Referee plays the advantage as Broadhead goes back to O'Brien and lifted over the top down the left-hand side for Thomason. Forward from wing-back. Wrexham again in bodies forward. Thomason in the area. Does he overrun it? He does. Tackled by Osho, who can clear it. Throwing in the final third on the left-hand side for Wrexham. Just showed Osho a bit too much of the ball there with the heavy touch. Thomason. Callum Doyle works it to Thomason. Finds the run of Broadhead down the left-hand side. Chops back brilliantly on his right foot. Delivers it towards the back post. Imre heads it in. And it can't be met by Rathbone. Dealt with by Willock. And it'll be Ashford to take over as Cardiff look to try and hit Wrexham on the break. Ashford into the path of Willock on his left. He's got the overlap of Scanlon. Marauding forward. Finds him. Holds it up midway inside the Wrexham half. Takes it away from Rathbone. And Cardiff will just slow it down. Start again on the halfway line with Bagan. But they've kept it well. Ng at right back. Going into the centre circle to the number 3. Joel Bagan. Born in Basingstoke, which is just north-east of Southampton. And the ball to Willett can't be controlled. Throwing in a right wing-back position for Wrexham. There's Barry Murphy watches on. Signed a new contract this month to extend his stay here to Cardiff until at least 2029. Kiefer Moore headed on from the throw-in, but headed away by Osho. Headed forward by Imre. Dealt with by Scanlon. Ahead of Rathbone. Wrexham back on it, halfway line, near side. Thomason. Back into the left centre half of Doyle. Not got many options around him. Been forced to go back to the goalkeeper, Patterson, who has to kick it away long first time from the edge of the 18-yard box towards Bagan, who's got time to bring it down brilliantly. Cardiff can start again from within their own half. 32 minutes in, still Cardiff 0, Wrexham 1 at the Cardiff City Stadium. It was Cardiff who took the lead when these two met last season in the League Cup. 13th minute through Yusuf Salek. This time it was Kiefer Moore in the 3rd minute. Chris Willock on the Cardiff left, showing too much of the ball to Rathbone. And he's been pickpocketed, and now Wrexham can try and flip it forward. Matty James, a lifted ball towards Kiefer Moore. Too much on it, pushes over Osho. That's going to be a foul and a free kick, and a yellow card for Kiefer Moore as well. Comes in snap from the start, Kiefer Moore, ahead of Sam Smith. Just a push into the back. A bit cynical. Had no eyes on the ball, Kiefer Moore. Phil Parkinson in disbelief that that's a yellow card. I think he's probably in disbelief it's even a foul. The 58-year-old, who I only found out the other day when I was researching for this game, that Phil Parkinson is on a 12-month rolling contract. So at the end of every season, they'll sit down. I mean, I think some conversations were probably easier. I don't think they probably had a tough conversation in terms of his contract because he's always delivered the results, Phil Parkinson. But yeah, he's on a 12-month rolling contract, so it gets reviewed and then renewed every year. There's a ball down the right side for Cardiff is overhit, and it's been seen out of play for a goal kick. Couldn't be quite kept in by their number 11, Ollie Tanner, who had a failed move to Spurs in 2022 from his non-league club Lewis, which he was signed from by Cardiff because he couldn't agree personal terms with Tottenham. Very interesting. Now playing his football in the south of Wales as it's launched forward to Moore in the centre circle, holding it up, lays it off behind him to James, then into the path of Broadhead. He has got Thomason bombing on outside of him. Broadhead in the area, finds the run. Thomason angles tight and it's blocked off by Osho. And that's going to be a corner on the near side for Wrexham. Certainly got on his bike there. George Thomason from left wing back and was found, but it was Osho who was able to get across and just stop the ball from going into a dangerous area in the 18-yard box. In swinger, back post, Trott gets a hand to it. Corner on the opposite side. Dealt with them pretty well so far, Nathan Trott, the Wrexham corners. Trying to get a glove to the ball as often as possible. Thank you to everyone who is here. If you could like and subscribe, that'd be absolutely fantastic, as Wrexham have got 4 men kind of bundled together: Broadhead, Hyam, Doyle and Mort. I'm going to split off in their own directions. In swinger, O'Brien left boot and a header onto the ball and onto the top of the crossbar. Kiefer Mort almost bagging another brace against the Bluebirds. Right arm raised from O'Brien right into the mixer in the 6-yard box. Kiefer Mort got up the highest, which isn't the hardest, with his height of 6'5". Won the header right onto the top of the crossbar. Another let off for Cardiff City, that time from the set piece. This is Osho into the midfield to Robertson. Keeps it away from Rathbone. And Cardiff have it with 9 minutes left of the first half. Works it out to this right-hand side to Ng. He's got Tanner ahead of him. He's going to go for an early crossing towards Salek. It's not the worst of ideas. Caught just right of the penalty spot by Anthony Patterson. And it's Wrexham who have the ball. In a full sort of green, luminous yellow kit tonight. Patterson kicks it out of his hands long beyond the halfway line, looking for the goal scorer Kiefer Moore, who can glance it on, but only as far as Bagan, who can turn towards his own goal and start again with his goalkeeper of Nathan Trott, who came through at West Ham United, leaving in 2024. In G. Ball over the top from Ashford, looking for Tanner, who can get the touch first, but can't get away from Thomason. Dealt with him really well so far, the former Bolton man. It's not an easy task to face up one-on-one against Ollie Tanner, who can be unpredictable at times. Long ball over the top from James. Finds Imre, who controls it brilliantly. The wing-back's in, and he puts it wide. Saved by Trott. Aiming to the bottom left corner. Had the shot just outside of the area. Couldn't quite catch out the goalkeeper. Direct football again from Wrexham. Certainly onside Imre. And he just got the better of Scanlon. And about 20 yards out, Imre let fly. Bouncing it into the ground. It was probably going wide without the touch, but Nathan Trott wasn't to know. So it's a corner on the near side for Wrexham, who will be looking to try and double their lead as we edge closer to the half-time whistle. James with the ball. It's deep. It's gone all the way over. It hits the roof of the net. Goal kick for Cardiff City. Jack Grealish in attendance tonight. Of course, was in Wales, in very close to Cardiff City's ground, for Manchester City's Community Shield final defeat against Arsenal. Came off the bench in the second half. It looks like he's probably here to watch his teammate Callum Robinson, who is on the bench for Cardiff, because I know he is quite close friends with the Irish striker. Would have come through at Aston Villa's academy together at a very similar time. Cardiff on the ball, midway inside their own half. It's Alex Robertson, who's always looking to try and make things happen for Cardiff, playing in that number 6 position, the Australian. Born in Dundee, but moved to England at the age of in 2015. He's got an Australian father. Last played for Australia, Alex Robertson, in March of this year. In G. Onto the halfway line, central area for Robertson, who works it to the left this time to Scanlon. He's got options in front of him, finds Willock. And back it goes into Bagan. Robertson. Bagan just in front of the halfway line on the left-hand side for Cardiff. Leaves it for Robertson. 6 minutes of the first half to go. Scanlon to Robertson. Just sitting very tight and very resilient so far, Wrexham, defending this goal lead, and they'll definitely want to take this lead into half-time as a minimum. Oh, poor touch from Ashford, but he wins it back on O'Brien, but then loses out once more with a heavy touch. It's now Thomason into the midfield now to James. Broadhead tackled by Robertson, and Cardiff have it back with their Australian central midfielder, the number 18. Spent time at Manchester United before moving on to Manchester City. Alex Robertson. Ashford running away from James, working it to the left side here to Scanlon. Forward to Moylan in the area, left-hand side, angles tight, tries to cut inside, tackled, the ball bobbles up, cleared by Viner. Though as far as Bagan, midway inside the Wrexham half, fancies a delivery into the far post, it's overhit, and will be seen out for a goal kick by George Thomason. Poor delivery that from Joel Bagan, usually better with his crosses. The more natural left-back who's having to fill in at centre-half tonight. It's Wrexham from the north of Wales who've currently got the bragging rights. Cleared forward by Bagan, headed on by Doyle, nodded down by Scanlon for Willock on the halfway line, tries to reverse it back to Scanlon, blocked off by, I think that was it Imre? No, I think that was maybe Dominic Hyam. Moylan loses out on the far side for Cardiff. And it's now a chance for Wrexham. Ball inside to Broadhead. Edge of the area. Shifts it onto his left foot. Strikes it. Blocked off the back of Bagan. And here is Robertson with it, who can control it. Out to the left to Willock. Bundled to the ground by Rathbone. It's going to be a free kick. Well won by Chris Willock, whose brother Joe still playing his football at Newcastle at the moment. Spent the first 14 years of his career coming through Arsenal's academy, Chris Willock. Then spent a couple of years over in Portugal with Benfica before they moved back to England. Cardiff certainly settled into this game for the last half an hour. Not really creating too many clear-cut opportunities to troll Patterson, but they're enjoying spells on the ball. On the halfway line at the moment, dinked over the leg of Moore by Osho into Bagan. Goes out to the far side to Scanlon, still just in front of the halfway line. Back into Bagan it goes, less than 3 minutes to play. Cardiff 0, Wrexham 1. 3rd minute goal from Kiefer Moore, the difference. Osho works it out to the right side here to Tanner, who's got options left and right. Tanner goes inside to Ng. And back to Robertson, about 30 yards away from goal. Tries the crossfield ball, it's a header away by Imre. Well, as far as Scanlon, so still on for Cardiff. Works it out wide to Willock, who's got everything to his right in a blue shirt. Goes into the area to Moylan, flicks it for Salek. Slight deflection so he can tee it off for Robertson, who will shoot. Blocked off James, not dealt with by Viner. And the ball eventually rolls through to Patterson, who can collect it in 2 very thankful hands. As it remains Cardiff 0, Wrexham 1. Kiefer Moore gets the second ball after a long kick from Wrexham. Forces it out to the left flank to Thomason. Try to turn away from Tanner. Met second time with a bit of force from the number 11, then pulled back by Thomason. Well won free kick by Ollie Tanner. I'd be surprised if Thomason gets away without a booking here from Andrew Kitchen, the referee. He may have just escaped it. I'm not overly sure, in all honesty. Here's Trott on the ball for Cardiff, just outside of the 18-yard box. It was Cardiff who won 2-1 on their opening game last season. Went 1-0 down in the 33rd minute against Peterborough, then turned it around and won 2-1. Oh, they'd love a similar script to play out here tonight. Just over a minute away from half-time. It's Robertson in front of the centre circle for Cardiff. So difficult to beat down this Wrexham low block where they have got themselves so well drilled in what their roles are when defending a lead with this 5 at the back. Trott midway inside his own half here, the Cardiff goalkeeper. No pressure on him at all at the moment. Big kick out towards the left flank, looking for Willock. Header won by Viner. And that's going to be a throw-in for Cardiff. Back-to-back home games for Wrexham. As mentioned before, taking on Watford, then the week after facing up against Birmingham. Halfway line, it's Joel Bagan on the left-hand side. Keeping it away from Kiefer Moore. And rolls it to the right back of Ng. Robertson to the far side to Willock, slightly short, sliding challenging from Imre. That's about to tick into minute 45. And we're going to have 2 added on minutes, indicated by the 4th official, James Bell. Ng pokes it forward towards Tanner. Cardiff man gets the last touch. That'll be a... be a Wrexham throw-in on the near side. It's lost a little bit of control in the last 15-20 minutes. Wrexham having to sit slightly deeper, do a bit more defensive work. Salek holds up on halfway, plays it back into Osho. Keeping the ball away from Hyam there. Yusuf Salek. Joel Bagan. Scanlon comes in a bit closer. Still in the Cardiff half as, again, Wrexham just understand that they've got to just see this through to half-time. But they'll definitely want to try and search for a second goal in the second half. Ashford in between the lines in the centre circle. Firing it to the right side. It's Ng. Forward to Tanner in the final third again. One-on-one with Thomason. Onto his left foot. Fancies the cross, which cannons off Broadhead. And that'll be a throw-in for Cardiff. Still in towards the final third. 40 seconds left of the half to play. Tanner from the throw. Works it to Ashford. Driving into a more central area. 25 yards out. Forward to Salek. Drops it off from Moylan. The pass forward is deflected away and then cleared by Thomason eventually. Who goes around Tanner and plays it low down the Wrexham left. Cut out by Ng. Here's Tanner. One last chance for Cardiff, potentially. Ashford through for Moylan, who kicks it off. James, corner on the near side for Cardiff. This will be one last opportunity until we get the half-time whistle. It's going to be a left-footed in-swinger from the number 3, Joel Bagan. Both arms raised. 6-yard box packed. In-swinger to the back post. It goes all the way through towards Osho, whose header goes over and wide. And that's where we'll get the referee's half-time whistle. At the Cardiff City Stadium, it's the hosts who trail to the visitors. It is a Kiefer Moore 3rd-minute goal, which has given Wrexham the lead. It was a free kick that wasn't really dealt with necessarily well by Cardiff City. It was hooked back forward by Danny Imre down the right-hand side of the box where Kiefer Moore was able to stay onside. The angle was tight, but about 6 yards out, he lifted it over the goalkeeper into the top left corner, scoring his 7th goal in his 7th appearance against Cardiff City. But from the 15th minute onwards, it's been Cardiff City who've had the majority of the ball. They've had one shot on target, which was an easy tester for Anthony Patterson, who could just catch the ball after, I think it was Ashford, who got the shot towards goal. Wrexham have dried up towards the back end of that first half, not creating as many clear-cut chances as Cardiff were starting to settle with more of the ball. It's certainly an intriguing end to the first half, as at half-time at Cardiff City Stadium, it is Cardiff City 0, Wrexham 1. I'd say the first quarter of the half, Wrexham completely dominated and deserved their lead. The last 3 quarters of the half, Cardiff have certainly grown into the game, but just not done enough at all at goal to really warrant, a goal scored yet. But I'm sure the fans will be happy that they've kind of got that sort of first game of the season nerves out of the system, because they did look really poor at the beginning, Cardiff, and they're starting to just play a bit more football, probably the football they were used to seeing last season when they were in League One. I'm going to have a quick break for 10 minutes or so for half-time. And I'll be back in 10 minutes. So make sure you do return for second half live commentary. If you want to keep the stream on, that's fine. Just put me in a different tab or put me to the side. But if you are going to go, make sure you do come back in about 10 minutes because I will be back to bring back second half live commentary. But at the moment, at the Cardiff City Stadium, as it stands, it's Cardiff City 0, Wrexham 1. Hello, we're back for the second half of this Welsh sort of derby. I mean, they are 138 miles away, but they're both in Wales. It's South against North, Cardiff in the capital. Currently trailing to Wrexham, 1-0. Kiefer Moore with the opener in the 3rd minute. A brilliantly taken finish from the 34-year-old, showing Phil Parkinson why he should be starting the majority of the games. He started this one, didn't start the League Cup game last week to Middlesbrough, but is coming for this one ahead of Sam Smith and has got his name on the score sheet. Not sure if there'll be any changes yet. We'll get the second half underway probably in 2 or 3 minutes' time. I mean, I've closed off the... let's not close off the timer app. For Cardiff, they are still light in their squad. They really need to bring in more reinforcements if they want to take this season seriously in the Championship. I mean, they've got one fit senior centre-back. Their backup centre-back on the bench tonight is 15 years old. 15. Noah Anyadike. 15 years, 2 months, 25 days. He was born in May 2011. I feel like I am still young, but oh my word, that makes me feel old. I turn 22 next month. He's 15, sat on the bench in a Championship game. That is absolutely crazy. But that does highlight how much they're struggling in terms of depth. I mean, they've got decent midfield options like David Turnbull, Joel Colwill, Ruben Colwill, who's just returning back from an ankle injury. They've got Isaac Davis, Callum Robinson. But, you know, if just pick up a couple of injuries, the squad starts to look really thin. So they've got to definitely bring in a few more players if they possibly can. Not much really has changed in terms of signings, permanent ones, new faces anyway, because Nathan Trott, who they signed permanently in goal, was here last season on loan. Callum Scanlon, who they've brought in the full back, he was also here on loan back end of last season. He's been brought in on loan again for the full season. So in terms of fresh faces, there's not much new, but sometimes a bit of continuity, a bit of familiarity can push you a little bit more. But at the minute, it is Cardiff who trail, Wrexham who lead. They've got plenty of depth in their squad, and they've got some big players out as well. Sheaf there, one of their central midfielders, he's been out since February with a knee problem. He's getting closer to action, according to Phil Parkinson. Josh Windass is out with a calf issue. Kikuchi, the wing-back, the New Zealand international who played in the World Cup, he's coming back shortly. He's just dealing with a bit of fatigue after an injury he picked up at the back end of last season. He was able to get himself fit for the World Cup, but I think now he's just trying to get himself into full, proper fitness to give this season the best he can for Wrexham. They've got, like I say, plenty of strikers on there. Davies Keeler not quite showed his real talent yet. Sam Smith, who did score against Manchester United in pre-season, the team that he came through up in the academy of. They've also got Bailey Cadamarteric, who scored away at Wrexham for Sheffield Wednesday last season before he joined them in the winter window for just around £1 million as well. Another new sign on the bench for Wrexham is Ben Whiteman, who they brought for £3 million from Preston, the Preston North End captain. He'd been captain since July 2024. Another player who had been at Manchester United until the age of 16, which then he joined Sheffield United, and then he's ended up on his way to Preston. Now with Wrexham, he did replace Matty James in the League Cup game against Middlesbrough on the 72nd minute mark. Let's see if we're going to get any changes. I doubt it. It was certainly a bright end to the half for Cardiff City, just not making clear enough opportunities, but working their way towards the Wrexham area and getting some half chances, half shots away. Just nothing of real quality. I mean, not to go woke at all, but I doubt Cardiff's XG is very high. Let's just say that, and it isn't. They've actually got the stats here, 0.36 from their 4 shots on goal so far. Not to go woke and get the Sean Dyche wall behind me, but they've not created good quality enough chances as of yet. There is Kiefer Moore, who would have scored a couple of goals in this stadium for Wales for the national team. 7-7 for him now against Cardiff in his career. He's now played for 8 clubs in this division, scoring 72 goals in 242 appearances. It is a man who has made his name in this division, continues to do so at 34 years of age. And there is Phil Parkinson, who's taking charge of his 275th game in charge of Wrexham. He's got a 57.3% win rate. His first ever game was a 2-2 draw away at Solihull in August 2021. Now his team are high up in the Championship, taking on some of the very best that the second division have got to offer. As Cardiff kickers off, kicking right to left. Wrexham left to right towards the away supporters, which are in the far left corner of the ground. It's Scanlon for Cardiff, forced to go back to the goalkeeper of Trott in the 18-yard area, who will take his time, the man in a full green kit tonight for the Bluebirds. And with his left boot, thought about the clearance, going to take it a bit further forward, just out of his 18-yard box, then clears it with the left boot out towards the Cardiff right-hand side. It's a chest down by Thomason. The last touch comes off Tanner, and that'll be a throw-in for Wrexham. Just took a moment to think about that, the officials. As it's Rathbone breaking away from Bagan, leaves the 18-yard area towards the corner flag on the far side. It's well kept by Rathbone, who will play it backwards to a teammate of Thomason, or Broadhead, sorry. And here's Rathbone again, into the run of Doyle from centre-back, in the area, angles time, but he'll go for the shot. Well saved by Trott. A minute in, Wrexham start the second half exactly how they started the first. Quick, off the mark. Lovely run from Doyle. Those centre-back runs can really cause chaos for Wrexham, and it is causing Cardiff issues. Doyle with the shot, took a slight nick, and it was a good save in the end with the right boot of Trott. You had to keep an eye out on that. Right-footed in-swinger. It's right on the goalkeeper again, who punches it up and away. It's going to be met by Moylan for Cardiff, who tries to shield the ball. And there's enough contact for a foul by Doyle. Free kick for Cardiff. So close there for Callum Doyle, who did not feature in this fixture last season when they met in the League Cup 4th round. For Wrexham, they did lose 3 of their last 6 away games in the Championship last season, losing to the likes of Coventry and Birmingham. Did win away at Oxford in their penultimate away game of the Championship season. This is with Zach Viner. Just outside the 18-yard area, clips up to the halfway line, chested down by Moore to O'Brien. In the centre circle to Broadhead, who keeps it away from Ng. Goes back 10 yards to Doyle. Wants to go over the top, down the left channel for Moore. Is there enough on it for him? There is, and he shrugs off the challenge of Osho, then into the run of Rathbone. Brilliant run, shot towards goal, and it's blocked by Bagan over the bar corner for Wrexham. It was Cardiff who certainly started the end of the first half the better of the two sides, but the break has seemed to have worked in the favour of Wrexham, and they've come out all firing with the inside channel runs, which are causing Cardiff real problems, and it's something they're going to have to deal with quickly because a 2-goal lead might be a little bit too much for them to turn around. 3 minutes into the second half here in the capital. It's going to be a left arm in the air, right-footed in-swinger from James. Again, right on the goalkeeper, easy catch, but there's a free kick there within the melee for Cardiff City. And that'll be taken by the goalkeeper, Nathan Trott, a former England under-20 international, born in Bermuda. This is his first ever Championship season after making 61 appearances in his career in the third tier. Signed a 3-year deal here, the 27-year-old Nathan Trott, who's been kicked the ball to from the free kick by Osho, and he will slowly bring the ball out of the box here. Trott not being closed down at the moment, and eventually kicks it long out to the Cardiff left towards Scanlon. Header won by Imre. Well, as far as Robertson, who nods it to his left to Bagan, then forward to Scanlon, trying to shield the ball away from Imre, but he's been sandwiched between him and Rathbone, and Wrexham have the ball. Imre trying to go on the inside of Bagan, good foot across to poke the ball away, and then kicked forward by Robertson, played back by Salek. Bagan across to the right, slight bit of space opening up for Cardiff City. Tanner receives the ball from Ashford, running at Thomason. Tanner down the right channel, can't quite find Ashford, well cut out by Doyle. Fires it down the left-hand side. Plenty of room to run into as Wrexham try and break. Broadhead driving inside. He gets away from Osho. Broadhead strikes it straight at Trott. Easy save in the end. But this game has really opened up within the last 60 seconds as Cardiff look to try and counter-attack as well this time. Ashford in a central area, midway inside the Wrexham half. It's Moylan to take over, slips it through for Salek, who gets there ahead of Hyam, but can't quite get the contact. Comfortable save towards the near post for Patterson. It's been a wild start to the second half. Both teams going for the next goal in this game, which will be very pivotal, I think, for the result. I think if Wrexham do get the second, I think that'll be a bit too much for Cardiff to contend with. Long ball forward towards Moore, can't beat Bagan to it. And it is Cardiff to start from the back. As for Cardiff, they had 6 championship seasons in a row from 2019 to 2025 before that relegation from the championship in the 24-25 season. The last 2 times they've been relegated, it has been bottom of the pile in the Premier League and the championship, as is Willock on the left-hand side. Final third, the referee didn't fancy playing the advantage despite Chris Willock being one-on-one with Zach Viner. Free kick for the home side. Dominic Hyam, just a late challenge there on Kean Ashford. Coming well out of position there, Hyam, so felt like he had to do something to disrupt play. So it's an opportunity for Cardiff to get this ball into the box. They did score their winner against Wrexham in the League Cup last season from a set piece across into the area. Bagan's over it with his left foot. Could be an in-swinger from the right foot of Robertson instead, and it will be. In it goes. It's a ball towards the penalty spot. It's a brave header won there in the end by Zach Viner. Reaches Broadhead, who slips. It's won back by Scanlon on his left boot. Shifts it across to his left towards Willock, who will keep it alive. Shifts it out left once more to Robertson in the final third. Goes back to Willock. Onto his right foot. Finds Scanlon. Pokes it inside to Bagan. Gets there ahead of Rathbone. To the halfway line to Osho. Now to the right flank to Ng. Finds Tanner. Onto his left foot, crosses, it's deep into the area and it's a punch away from Patterson. Almost got there, Moylan. Just a bit too late on the scene. Willock skips beyond Rathbone, onto his right foot, edge of the area. Lays it off to Robertson, then out wide to Scanlon, everything to his right for the fullback. In it goes, that's even deeper this time, it goes beyond the head of Thomason. Maybe picked up by Tanner. Back into Ng, the captain. Tries to drive inside, edge of the box, plays it forward to Ashford. Ball stuck under his feet, tackled by O'Brien, who's then bundled over by Ng. And that'll be a free kick for Wrexham as the pressure can be relieved for the moment. What a start to the second half we've had here. Going to be taken in a quite central position there by Anthony Patterson. And there is the Welsh head coach, Craig Bellamy. In attendance tonight, with an extended international break coming up in September. For Wales, he was heavily linked with a move back to Burnley as their manager. But that didn't materialise in the end. Moylan trying to play in behind for Salek, who's been pulled down by Hyam. That will certainly be a yellow card. Definitely won't be a red. There was certainly a covering defender right next to him. I think it was Zach Viner. But that's twice now that Dominic Hyam, the captain's been caught out of position. And that time it's earned him a yellow card. About 22 yards out, just towards the left side of the box, more than anything, just off centre. Yeah, just a pull of the arm on Salek. Yellow card is the right punishment. Definitely not a red. Zach Viner was literally right next to him, in fairness. More suited to a right footer. And it is the captain, Perry and G, who has stood over it. Scored 6 times last season. The fullback scored 3 and 5 from the end of January towards the middle of February. Only ever scored 15 goals in his career for Cardiff. He's been here now for well over 5.5 years. He could really raise the roof with a goal to equalise. Perry and G. He'll be right-footed. Can he work some magic? Referee blows the whistle. Perry and G hits the wall. It deflects into the area down the left-hand side for Willock, who can try and keep it alive, but he's been surrounded by 3 Wrexham shirts, but there's an offside flag up on Willock anyway. So it'll be Wrexham free kick. Bit underwhelming in the end by Perry and G. Came through at Crewe, spent 17 years at Crewe before moving on to Cardiff. Ended in heartbreak at the start of last season for Wrexham. They travelled to Southampton for their opening game and lost 2-1. They went 1-0 up through a Josh Windass penalty, but then a 90th minute worldy free kick from Ryan Manning and then a pretty scrappy 96th minute winner from Stevens gave Southampton the 3 points in the end. So they'll be hoping it's not a similar story this time around for Wrexham, who had to end up waiting until their game against Millwall away on the 30th of August. That was their first win of the championship season. Kiefer Moore scored in that one, and so did O'Brien late on after a lengthy number of added on minutes. Patterson clears for Wrexham, headed inside by Moore. Off the thigh of Ashford, and it's a poked ball forward by Rathbone. O'Brien works it to his right to Kiefer Moore. He's got Imre running ahead of him. He's found the right wing back just outside the area. Right-footed cross, takes too long, but he can kick it off Scanlon. And that's a corner kick on the near side for Wrexham. Could have maybe got something more out of that. Just seemed to have took an age then to deliver that cross. Danny Imre. O'Brien. On this near side, it's going to be an in-swinger, which they've been persistent with from the corners tonight. In it goes towards the middle of the box. It's a header away, not convincing. Drops towards Matty James, who can't quite get on the ball. Does get it back out to Thomason. Then the ball to Doyle, who slams it off the post. He's come close twice tonight. Once in the first half with a header. That time with his left boot. James completely missed the ball on the edge of the box, but ran back and retrieved it and played it to Thomason, and then played it forward to Doyle. It took an age for a Cardiff City player to get anywhere near him, and he let fly with the left boot. Loads of power, beat Trott, but didn't beat the post. It remains 1-0 Wrexham. Huge opportunity. Long ball up for Cardiff. Salek glances it towards Willett, kicked up in the air by Imre. Comes off the back of James, and it's a Scanlon slip. Rathbone keeps it on the near side, tripped by Scanlon. And that's going to be a free kick for Wrexham. 58 minutes played. Cardiff 0, Wrexham 1. Rathbone having to retie his laces. The Wrexham number 20, who spent 8 years at Manchester United before leaving for Rochdale. He did sign a new deal with Wrexham in February of this year till 2028. This is his 80th Wrexham appearance for Ollie Rathbone, who scored 7 goals last season in just 26 appearances in the Championship. Didn't play any of the first 20 games of last season in the league. Ollie Rathbone, he's now quite an important part of the team. As Wrexham lose out in the Cardiff half, here's Tanner towards Salek, who was going for the audacious switch towards Willock. But too much on it, but it will be a throw-in for Wrexham on the near side in their defensive third. So an opportunity for Cardiff to try and push forward quickly, try and squeeze Wrexham in their own half. Long throw down the line to the halfway line by Viner, touched behind Rathbone by Moore, and it's cleaned up by Moylan, and Cardiff try and rush out to the right-hand side quickly. Here's Ng. Forward to Ashford, gets there ahead of Doyle. turns away from him as well and lays it off for Robertson. Good skill that from Ashford. Forward to Salek. Tried the flick to Moylan. Works its way to him and then he's not tricked according to the referee. Wrexham have it back on the edge of the area. It's Thomason. Lifts it down the left channel. O'Brien's going to chase it. Osho comes across. Cleans up for Cardiff. Plays it down the right side. It's overhit, but it will be kept alive by Tanner, who goes into Robertson, and it's Cardiff to come forward again in between the lines. Brilliant ball. Here's Moylan. Can he find the next pass? He can't. He's well tackled from behind. Brilliant. Jack Moylan thinks he should have had a free kick, but for me, that's a tidy challenge. And with half an hour to go, it remains 1-0 to Wrexham, but the game's in the balance. You can see it swinging either way at the moment. Just again, for all the Cardiff possession, they're just not quite creating enough clear-cut opportunities, in my opinion. Throwing down the line, headed inside by Moore, but again collected by a Cardiff player, this time of Alex Robertson. Forward to Ashford. Here's Tanner, tries to play it forward, comes off the hands of Thomason, but it bounces into Ng, so the referee just allows Cardiff to carry on. Don't want to stop their momentum this time around. Osho to Tanner on the right-hand side. Again, shaping up to take on Thomason if he can. Has to go back, though, to Ng. Forward for Ashford, just outside the 18-yard box, keeping it away from O'Brien, who's following him every step of the way. And then a ball is short, collected by James, but the pass is poor towards Moore. One back by Robertson. Here's Tanner on the far side in the final third. Onto that left foot, curling a ball to the back post towards Willock. It's headed on by Imre. And it's a corner for Wrexham. It was a searching delivery, and Chris Willock almost got on the end of it if it wasn't for that glance at the back post by Danny Imre. And we're going to get the first changes of the game. And it's going to be for Cardiff. Ollie Tanner is going to be coming off the right winger, and he'll be replaced by number 10, Ruben Colwell, who missed the League Cup first round against Swindon with his ankle problem. The man who signed a new deal in March till 2030. On the second change, we'll see Chris Willock come off, and the other Colwell brother, Joel Colwell, will come on for him. He played 32 minutes off the bench at the weekend. Joel Colwell, he'll be getting the last 28 minutes plus added on time. So the two Colwell brothers on, and the two wingers come off of Chris Willock and Ollie Tanner. It's going to be a right-footed in-swinger from this near side via Alex Robertson. Delivers it in with pace to the back post. Good catch by Patterson. And he's going to roll it into the space here. And it's going to be a run forward with the ball from Thomason. Plays it into O'Brien. Lifts out to the left towards Imre, who switched flanks and he gets the touch around his man. Can he get the ball across? He can. Scanlon with the clearance straight towards Rathbone, who can keep it in. Can't find a teammate. Kick forward for Cardiff and the break's on the other way. Moylan driving down the left-hand side. Trying to find Salek on the inside. It's well cut out by the boot of Hyam. And it'll be a Cardiff throw-in on the near side, just inside the Wrexham half. Almost a second. It was a really good piece of skill by Imre to beat his man to cut inside. And then the ball across didn't quite reach Broadhead. Vital interception by Scanlon in the end. Ng, 25 yards out, right-hand side. Works it further right. Chance. Ashford onto his left boot. Delivers a ball in. It's glanced by Viner. And that's going to be another corner for Cardiff on the near side. Certainly shown their worth in this game, Cardiff. On the ball. Thank you to everyone who's here. If you could like and subscribe, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Another commentary coming next weekend. Not quite sure which one, so make sure you subscribe with notifications on so you know which game it will be. Another in-swinging ball onto the goalkeeper, but it's a header from Kiefer Moore instead, just in front of his goalkeeper. It's going to go out of play. Throwing taken quickly by Scanlon to Bagan. Scanlon again on the near side. Back to Bagan on the halfway line. Has to go back to his own goalkeeper after pressure from Broadhead. Trott calmly plays it back towards the left side to Bagan. Forward to Robertson on the halfway line. Works it to the right to Ng. There's a man over of Ashford. Finds him. Different prospect to deal with now for George Thomason at wing back. Ashford on the outside. Tries to cut back. Brought to the ground. Referee says nothing wrong with that. And Thomason can eventually clear down the line. Up to Moore, who has to hold it up. Flicks it away from one man and keeps it off at another. And then goes to Broadhead, but he's been bundled to the ground as he released it. Moore. And with 25 to go. Cardiff 0, Wrexham 1. Brilliant striker play from Kiefer Moore. There is Phil Parkinson in conversation with his coaching staff. Likes of Steve Parkin and David Jones as well. Wondering what their next move is in this game, because Cardiff have brought off 2 out-and-out wingers for 2 central players. I mean, Keane Ashford has gone out to the right wing. He is more of a natural right winger, and I think they've put Moylan on the left-hand side, so it will be probably Joel Colwill as a sitter and then Ruben Colwill just a bit further on. Scanlon wins the header from the Wrexham long ball. Headed back forward and then chested by Moore. Back to the halfway line to O'Brien. Burst forward. Pressure from Joel Colwill, but he can shift it out to the left to Thomason. Ball crossed to the back post. Too much on it. Too much for Imre. Throwing for Cardiff in their left back position. They still want to try and take it as quickly as possible with Callum Scanlon, the former England under-20 international. Gets the ball back from the throat. But then surrounded by red shirts, wins another throw-in. Or was that a free kick given in the end? I think it was a throw-in. Their first change is going to be Ben Whiteman for Wrexham. Not to be made yet, but he's ready and raring to go. Made his debut for them last weekend against Middlesbrough as Wrexham have won it from the throw. Doyle, midway inside the Wrexham half with a pass to Broadhead. Finds space for the shot, and it's wide of the right-hand post. Didn't quite get that. Never really going on target there, Nathan Broadhead. Scored 9 championship goals. Scored 9 Wrexham goals last season, 7 of them in the championship. Has scored against Cardiff once in his career, back in September 2023. This is his 99th championship appearance as Wrexham, with a quarter of the game to go, brings off, and with the draws, Ollie Rathbone. For their new number 8, Ben Whiteman, former Preston captain, brought in for £3 million. He's got a lot of championship experience, over 200 appearances in this division. Just 4 players who started this fixture last season for Wrexham start tonight. Thomason, Rathbone, O'Brien and Broadhead. And it's the same for Cardiff, just 4 survivors starting tonight. Trott, Bagan, Ashford and Salek. Here is Ashford on the far side. Goes back to Ng, midway inside the Wrexham half in a more central area. He's found the pass to Robertson. Forward to Scanlon. Works it to the left flank to Moylan. Just inside the area. The angle's tight. Onto his right boot. He dinks it into the area. It's missed. But then it drops to Ashford. He tries to cross it himself to the near post. A volley away by Doyle. And it has been Cardiff again dominating the ball. Just got to try and work an opening. Just not had enough clear-cut opportunities in this game so far. Robertson out to the left to Scanlon, facing his own goal. Pressure here from Imre. Goes back to Bagan and then back to the goalkeeper. Trott potentially. No. Turns his man of O'Brien and then finds Robertson in the midfield and back to Bagan. They are keeping it pretty tidy, Cardiff City, who had a strong pre-season, winning 3 of their 4 games. Losing their first one 6-0 at home to Midtjylland. 3-0 down at half-time. That was a real strange game because they played a pretty strong team that pre-season game, Cardiff, but they did beat Roma in the final game, and Roma played a strong team. They beat them 4-1 here. That's probably a surprise of the pre-season in the English divisions, probably. Because when I saw the result and I was doing the research, I had to see the Roma team, and they had a lot of recognisable names on the team sheet. As Cardiff still attack, but Wrexham sit back, everyone behind the ball, bar Kiefer Moore. Scanlon on the near side. In the final third, he's going to try the 1-2 with Moylan, who lets it run across his body and chops beyond Viner. Here's Moylan. Angle tight, but goes for the shot straight down the throat of Patterson. It's a comfortable save in the end for the former Sunderland man, brought in last Tuesday for £8 million to replace Arthur Okonkwo. He looks to be leaving Wrexham at some point in this window. They've now got Danny Ward as the backup goalkeeper. Long ball forward for Wrexham up towards Kiefer Moore. It bounces into the 18-yard box. Can he get it under control? He can't. And it's going to be Cardiff to have the ball with their goalkeeper, Nathan Trott. Alec Robertson to bring it forward. Won the Premier League 2 title with Barry Murphy when he was in charge of the City under-21s. And now he gets to work with him at Cardiff City. Here's Ashford on the right-hand side. Again goes central with a pass to Robertson midway inside the Wrexham half. Now to the left. Scanlon to Moylan. Scanlon overlaps. Moylan plays it back inside to Robertson. Here's now Bagan. Robertson, good 40 yards or so away from goal. Plays it across to Osho, just in front of the centre circle. Brings the ball forward and plays the pass out wide right to Kean Ashford. Cuts inside onto his left foot. Needs to try and release it in his central area now. Plays it across to the left to Scanlon. Robertson, a bit closer to goal. Tries to play the pass forward to Ruben Colwill. But it's been cut out and it's been cleared up towards Moore. It's well intercepted there by Bagan. Had to get there and he did. Cardiff come forward again. Ashford plays it back to Ng on the angle. Can't quite work the space for a shot as he's been closed up by Matty James. Here's Ashford again. Cross eventually delivered by Joel Colwill. Pushing the back on Hyam. And that's going to be a free kick for Wrexham. Joel Colwill trying to find his brother Ruben Colwill in the area. But pushing the back. And the goal scorer and the match winner, Kiefer Moore, is going to be replaced. And he's having to rush off because substitutions are going to have to be made in 10 seconds now. They've got to get themselves off the pitch. But he's done his job tonight, Kiefer Moore, scoring Wrexham's first goal of the season. And he has them in the lead. He's replaced by Sam Smith, who did start the League Cup game against Middlesbrough. This is his 49th Championship appearance in his career. And the second change, we'll see another striker come on. He's not quite found his way yet at Wrexham on his return to the club. Nathan Broadhead, the other striker, is replaced by Davis Keeler-Dunn, who was here at Wrexham for a 6-month spell, well, an 8-month spell in 2020. Scored the 1 goal away at Bromley. But he's not quite shone since returning from Barnsley for £2 million in the winter window last season. As we're going to get a further stoppage in this game because Matty James has gone down for Wrexham, the 35-year-old. Former England under-20 international Matty James. So, a bit of a pause for both. Again, almost like a bit of a hydration break, this one. As we've got 17 minutes and it does look like it's probably going to have to be a substitution for Wrexham. It looks like Matty James won't be able to continue and they're going to bring on George Dobson instead. He spent 10 years coming through at Arsenal, then spent a couple of years at West Ham, made 2 appearances in their matchday squad in the Premier League against Spurs and Everton back in March 2016, but never came onto the pitch. Hopefully that's nothing too long-term for Matty James, even though they do have Ben Sheaf, another central midfielder, close to returning from injury. It looks like Cardiff are going to make a change of their own potentially. Got a few players ready, likes of Ronan Capaccio, the 19-year-old right-back who scored on the opening day last season in their win against Peterborough to kickstart their campaign with 3 points. So we're going to get a bit of added on time at the end of this game. So Matty James to come off for George Dobson. Did feature in 40 of the Championship games last season. Dobson. And they're going to throw everyone on the pitch now, Wrexham. Because they're also going to make a change, I think, at right wing back. They're going to bring on Ryan Longman as well. So, Danny Imre comes off the right wing back, the assist maker for the goal, with the ball down the right channel. And he'll be replaced by Ryan Longman, who only conjured up 28 starts in all competitions last season for Wrexham, but this is his 150th Championship appearance of his career, previously at Hull. And the other change, of course, James off for Dobson. So some fresh legs on the pitch for Wrexham as they try and see through this final 15 minutes plus added on time. So eventually we're going to get the Wrexham free kick just on the edge of the 18-yard box. Long and high and out to the right by Patterson. Header won by Smith for Wrexham. All as far as Ashford, who controls it. And then a ball played into the path of Ruben Colwill, who goes out to his left to Jack Moylan. Colwill's continued his run down the left-hand side, but Moylan has to go back to Scanlon. Quick 1-2 with Robertson. Here's Scanlon once more. Back into his own half with a pass to Bagan. Pressing well Wrexham. Forcing Cardiff to go back and just not allowing them to force many clear-cut chances. Scanlon in between two Wrexham players and lays it off to his right to Robertson. Scanlon, Robertson looking to go out to the left, cut out though for Wrexham and played forward to Sam Smith in the centre circle. Back it goes to Doyle. Thomason's on his back down the left-hand side. Can't quite release it in time, so keeps it short and goes to Dobson. Gets his first few touches on the ball, the Wrexham central midfielder. In the left centre-back position, clips it down the left channel. It's touched on by Thomason, but he won't get there ahead of Ashford, who is facing his own goal. Towards the corner flag now, Ashford. Releases it to Osho. Now Ashford in the right-back position. Back to Osho, who kicks it off Keeler Dunn. And it loops up into the air, head away by Osho. Helped away, but not far enough. Whiteman for Wrexham, who can't quite bend it to the far corner. The new man looking for his first goal. Poor defending really by Cardiff. Robertson tried to help it away, but ended up bouncing off his own teammate straight to Whiteman, who on the edge of the area had the shot, but again just didn't quite get enough curl on it at all. As Cardiff try and build out from the back. Ruben Colwill dispossessed. Longman. Dobson, O'Brien. Brilliant bit of work. Sam Smith down the right channel, just outside the area. Ball goes into the box. Backheel from overhead kick from Keeler Dunn. Don't quite get the contact on the ball. Goes through for Cardiff. Alex Robertson to the far side it goes. Kean Ashford just beyond the halfway line. Slightly isolated the Cardiff number 45. Goes back to the halfway line to Ng. Centre circle is Robertson. To the left to Scanlon. Uses Jack Moylan, the left winger, running at Longman. Cuts inside, into the box. Shoots right-footed in the deflection. Goes wide of the left post. And it's a Cardiff corner. He's certainly getting the home team fans off their seats. Jack Moylan. Trying to bend it to the far corner. Came off the shoulder of Hyam. And behind for a corner. 12.5 minutes of the 90 to go. It's going to be Alex Robertson with the delivery. It's a right-footed in-swinger from the near side. The referee just keeping a keen eye on what's going on in the 6-yard area. In it goes. It's palmed away by Patterson. Scanlon will get there ahead of O'Brien. Here's Robertson, the original corner taker. Pass forward to Ruben Colwill. Chops away from his man. Shields the ball and then plays it back to Bagan. Well kept for Cardiff, who will try and recycle it forward if they can. Goes out to the right side here to Joel Colwill. Here's Ashford on the far side, cutting inside onto his left foot. Will he play it across the box? He will. Robertson chops towards his left side, but shows too much of it to O'Brien, who tries to burst forward, but can't get away from Robertson. Wanted the free kick, never got it. Ball forward, Moylan. 1-2, Ruben Colwill. Can't quite flick it back to Moylan. One back again for Wrexham. Outside of the boot, ball here by O'Brien. Met by Bagan first, but can't quite clear it ahead of Sam Smith, who wins the ball back. But the action has gone against Sam Smith. I'm not quite sure what he's done wrong there. Phil Parkinson furious, and rightly so, because O'Brien probably should have got a free kick for his pull. But then Sam Smith has been fouled. What's he give? There's just a bit of a coming together. There's no foul on anyone. That's bizarre. There's always a way a referee in England just shows why they're not great at their job. As we're going to get plenty of Cardiff changes. Probably the most influential player on the ball comes off. Alex Robertson. Everything's pretty much gone through him tonight. He's been replaced. Let's see exactly how many changes are going to be made here for Cardiff. Is it 3? Or is it just the 2? I'm not quite sure. No, it is going to be 3. So Ronan Capaccio, the right back, comes on. The left winger of Isaac Davis comes on, and the striker of Callum Robinson comes on. And they have replaced Alex Robertson as one of the players who have come off. So has Callum Scanlon, the left back. And they've also brought off, not quite sure, can't quite see who they have brought off at the minute, in all honesty. But I'm sure I'll find out very soon. Here's Osho. Fires it to the left side to Moylan. Tries to find the overlap of Bagan, but he went the wrong way round him. But Moylan can get on the end of his own pass and replay it back into Osho. Here's Bagan. Back to Moylan. Midway inside the Wrexham half. It's into the middle of the park towards Ruben Colwill. Back to Osho. Lifts it over O'Brien to find Bagan on the left-hand side. Bagan. Moylan. Back into Bagan. Backs against the wall stuff now for Wrexham. Bagan lifts it forward. Header over by Viner. Chested down by Sam Smith. Played back towards Viner. He's been closed down. But he can play it down the right channel. But there's nowhere near O'Brien. And it'll be easily dealt with here by Joel Bagan, who's now gone out to left back. The 24-year-old. So it is Jack Moylan who has come off. It says, I'm sure he was just on the ball then. Or is that someone else? I'm sure that was Jack Moylan, unless I'm seeing things. I thought he was number 8 on the pitch. Yeah, Moylan is on. It's Ashford who's come off, so the Sky Sports graphic was wrong there. So Ashford came off for Isaac Davis, who seems to be playing on the right-hand side. Here is Moylan on the left. Final third, running at Longman. Goes on the outside, but then tackled by Longman. Good footing by the right wing-back, who will clear it up the field for Wrexham towards Smith. Wins the chest again, pulled to the ground, and the referee will give the free kick this time. Phil Parkinson still giving his peace of mind to the referee. Feels like they've not got enough of the decisions tonight, Wrexham. But they do have the lead. I mean, it shows how far they've come, Wrexham. Spent 15 seasons in the 5th tier of English football before their promotion from that league in 2023. And now they're having their pre-seasons in America, playing this pre-season, playing in Finland, in Poland, Florida, New York, Pennsylvania. Amazing rise from Wrexham. Of course, it isn't without an injection of cash from their Hollywood owners, Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds, but still, money doesn't always buy you success. Got to make sure you put it in the right areas and try and build the infrastructure of the club as well, not just the players on the pitch and the squad you've got. Everyone behind the ball here for Wrexham, bar Sam Smith. Ruben Colwill out to the right to Capaccio, the out-and-out right back. Works it to Isaac Davis. On the angle, here's Ruben Colwill. Low ball towards Capaccio in the area, cut out by Doyle, who will then play a ball forward to O'Brien, then back into Doyle, who will then play it forward for Smith, one-on-one with Osho. Been forced away from goal, brilliant defending, then his pass back's gone short, and it goes away from Thomason, and that's going to be a throw-in for Cardiff. Not the best of passes there from Sam Smith. Needs to try and link it if he cannot give the ball away. Brian Barry Murphy barking instructions for Cardiff on that touchline in the technical area. Swings a ball in there, Bagan to the back post. It's not dealt with by Thomason, goes the wrong way, but then the header's the right way by Hyam. And then a late challenge that is. No, it's not. Dobson gets back to his feet. Here's Osho, just in front of the halfway line. Plenty of time on the ball for the Cardiff number 4. Goes out to the left to Bagan, midway inside the Wrexham half. Bit of patience here from Cardiff. Osho clips it into the area. Poor ball, easily caught by Patterson. 6 minutes plus added on time to go. Still Cardiff 0, Wrexham 1. A 3rd minute Kiefer Moore goal separates the two sides as it stands. Big kick out of his hands by Patterson up into the air towards Sam Smith, who will not win the header on in G. Goes forward towards Joel Colwell. Loses out to Whiteman. But then a loose touch away for Wrexham is meaning that Cardiff are back on the ball. Just inside their own half. Perry and G at right centre-back. Forward in between the lines. Finds Callum Robinson. Links up the play well. Here's Joel Colwell on the right-hand side. Keeping the ball away from Davis Keeler-Dunn. Joel Colwell to the byline. Works the cross off the left leg of Thomason. Corner for Cardiff. They've definitely provided us with a good style of football to watch, Cardiff City. It's possession-based. They've moved it around nicely. But again, just got to work some more high-quality chances. That's the only thing they're missing at the moment. It's going to be a left-footed in-swinger from the far side by Joel Bagan. In it goes towards the middle of the box. Header away by Smith. Put back in by Capaccio. Header away by O'Brien. Chased down by Capaccio, who will go back into his own half to the goalkeeper Trott, who's right near the centre circle. Calmly plays it forward and to his left slightly to Joel Colwell. Not being pressed at the moment by Dobson. But goes out to the left side. Here's Robinson. More central area now to Ruben Colwell. Out to the right to Capaccio. Isaac Davis spreading the play with his positioning and receives the ball and gets the cross off Thomason. That's going to be a corner for Cardiff again. Just couldn't quite work the space for a cross in the end there. Isaac Davis, the 24-year-old Welshman who has made 2 appearances for Wales, assisted on his debut against North Macedonia back in November of last year. This is his first ever taste of Championship football. In-swinger again from Bagan, headed away by Hyam. Drops in the box and Wrexham will try and break. They've got bodies charging forward. Played to Doyle on the right-hand side for Wrexham. Here's Longman from right wing-back, bringing the ball forward. Edge of the box. He delivers it to the back post. It's a glancing header away, but Davis helps it to O'Brien in the box. Can he get the shot off? Doyle shoots, but it's straight at Trott. It's actually Keeler-Dunn, the person who had the ball dropped to him, and he found the pass to Doyle. But the shot was not powerful enough. Easy save in the end for Trott. 3 minutes plus added on time. Here's Bagan on the halfway line near side. The left back for Cardiff. Inside to Osho. Across to his centre-back partner of Perry and G, the captain. Goes across here to Ruben Colwell. Out wide left to Moylan. Needs a bit more movement around him. Onto his right foot. Delivers a ball to the back post. It's gone beyond Thomason and headed across goal. Cleared only as far as Colwell on the edge of the area. Ruben Colwell playing it forward. Deflects back to him and he volleys it out wide to Bagan. It's well kept that in the end by Ruben Colwell. And the swinging ball into the box. Headed away by Doyle. And Keeler-Dunn will chase it. And will keep it in. Kicking it forward. But can't find Smith up there on his own. It's in G going across to Osho. And it's Cardiff to come again. To the near side to Bagan. Plenty of bodies forward for Cardiff, but just a bit of lack of movement. Maybe some tired legs out there. Dominated the possession tonight, Cardiff, but not tested Patterson enough in the Wrexham goal. The man signed from Sunderland is Isaac Davis on the right-hand side. Feeds it back into Capaccio. In G. Capaccio still on the Cardiff right flank. In the final third is Davis. Running at Thomason. Keeping the ball away from him and Keeler-Dunn. Shifting it to Ng. The space for a cross. He didn't fancy it. Here's Capaccio. Running at pace at Thomason. Trying to get into the box, but he's been stopped in his tracks by the wing-back. He'll find a bit of room. Tries to line it, but can't do so. Capaccio. Tackled, though, by Keeler-Dunn. Here's Sam Smith. Goes back into Thomason, who will go long with a ball down the left channel towards O'Brien, who's always full of running. Couldn't quite keep that in, though. The Wrexham 27. Born in Colchester. Spent 6 months in 2024 and a loan spell at LAFC. Always such a workhorse in that midfield, Lewis O'Brien, who missed out on promotion with Huddersfield via the playoffs a good few seasons ago now. Here's Callum Robinson. Salak makes a run off the ball, which creates space for Moylan. Reverse ball to Joel Colwell. Back against the defender. Goes back to Bagan. Cross away from goal. A header away by Doyle. Up to Smith. Holding it up against Osho, and he kicks it off the referee, and play will have to be stopped. Less than a minute of the 90 to play, and it is still Cardiff, who trail by a goal to nil. As Phil Parkinson has a big swig of his water bottle, knowing he is closer to 3 points to start Wrexham's season well, after they failed to win any of their last 2 league games last season. But in fairness, they did take on Coventry away and Middlesbrough at home, two of the best teams in the Championship last season. So it'll be interesting how much time we get added on. Doyle down the left-hand side in the box. Sam Smith goes for the early dink. It's just wide of the post. Nathan Trott was in no man's land. He was just hoping and praying that was going wide. Sam Smith well onside, down the left channel. He got away from Osho and went early with the dink. That was almost a spectacular finish from Smith. We've got 6 minutes of added on time here in the Welsh capital. Davis to Capaccio. Met by Thomason, but keeps it away from the wing-back. Capaccio tries to feed it inside to Davis. Won't quite reach him. Thomason, who's been unbelievable for Wrexham tonight. Can't quite clear it too far away. Here's Ruben Colwill on the right-hand side. Edge of the area. Low ball into the box. Poked away by Hyam. Well, as far as Bagan. Forward to Salek. Tries to find a pass to Robinson. Holds it up. Lays it off. Ruben Colwill. 25 yards from goal. Looking to go to the right-hand side. Finds Capaccio on the edge of the box. To Colwill again. Forward to Joel Colwill. Now out to the right to Davis. Joel Colwill giving time to deliver a ball, which has been hooked away by O'Brien. As far as Ruben Colwill, who heads it across to Osho, who keeps it alive away from the sliding challenge of O'Brien. Bagan swings it in. It's a curler. He goes all the way through. Here's Isaac Davis. Angles tight. Tries the cross. Comes off Thomason. Another corner for Cardiff. Less than 5 minutes to go. For Cardiff to save themselves. In-swinger. Davis with the header. And I think it comes off a Wrexham man on the way through. It's another corner on the near side this time for Cardiff. Robinson takes it short. Gets the ball back. Robinson delivers. Great ball in. No one attacking it. Header away for Wrexham by Thomason. Here's Bagan. Puts it back in the box. Doyle this time with the header. Straight to Capaccio. 4 minutes to go. Can Cardiff get it back in the area? Capaccio dinks it into the box. Header away again for Wrexham, this time by Longman. Here's Moylan. Tries to play a pass forward. Cut out. Rolls through to Perry and G. Goes towards the right side. To Capaccio. Forward to Isaac Davis. Playing it back to Ruben Colwill and then delivers it to the back post. Moylan controls it, but outside of the area it goes. But he's offside. And that kills real momentum for Cardiff City. As Wrexham have got 3.5 minutes left to hold on. Long ball forward, headed away by Osho, only as far as Davis, Keeler done. Deflects out to the right to Longman. Midway inside the Cardiff half, it's Whiteman. To the right side here, near touchline to Dobson. Poor touch from O'Brien. Out of play for a throw-in for Cardiff. 2.5 minutes to go. They've got to get moving quickly. Down the right-hand side they go. Isaac Davis to the halfway line. Lays it off to Joel Colwill. Here's Bagan at left-back. About 10 yards inside the Wrexham half. Everyone behind the ball for Wrexham. I think Bart, Sam Smith, Ruben Colwill. Forward through the middle. Just goes under the foot of his brother Joel Colwill, who can regain the ball back. Dances into the area. Capaccio with the cross that goes into the back post. It's headed off the bar by Hyam and cleared for Wrexham. It's a heroic header off his own crossbar. What defending from the captain to keep it at 1-0. Perry and G battling on the halfway line and he loses out to Sam Smith. charging away at goal, 1-on-1 with Osho, in the area, goes for the shot, stings the gloves of Trott, cleared away by Bagan, back forward by Whiteman, controlled by O'Brien, slowed down by Wrexham with less than 90 seconds to go. So unbelievably close. Longman kicks it off Robinson, and it's a throw in towards the corner flag for Wrexham. What an unbelievable header by Hyam, off the top of his head, off the crossbar and away. Capaccio dinked it right underneath the crossbar. Patterson flapped at it, didn't get a touch. Salek was ready to tap it home. What a header that is. As Longman shields it in the corner flag. Kicked away by Bagan. As far as O'Brien, as Longman aims towards the corner flag again. And eventually can't be kept in for Wrexham. Ruben Colwill, they've got to get it up quickly. They've got just less than 40 seconds left. Colwill plays it inside to his brother Joel Colwill. It's now Osho. They've got to get it moving quickly. Out to Perry and G towards the right-hand side. They've got to just send it long. Get the players forward. Oh, they're slowing it down. This is a killer. Joel Colwill. Low ball to Robinson. Here's Joel Colwill. Is he tripped? On the edge of the box. Free kick for Cardiff. Right on the edge. Joel Colwill tripped. George Dobson fighting the Wrexham cause, but the referee's given the free kick. Was it in the box? Oh, it's in the box. That's a penalty. It looks to me like he's on the white line. Oh, that's tight. That's really close. From my first glance, it looked like that probably should have been a penalty. But the referee has only got one look at it. And he's given a free kick. It would have been a big call to give a penalty. Looks like it could have been. It was very, very close. Sometimes people say that free kicks can be too close. This could almost be an example of this. Colwill with the strike! Blasted into the top left corner! And Cardiff have saved themselves late on! What a moment! Back in the Championship and back with a bang! All the players, the head coach, Barry Murphy in the celebrations! South v North Wales has offered us a firecracker of a fixture on opening weekend. Ruben Colwill off the bench, back from an ankle injury. Fires it into the top left corner. It was the goalkeeper's side, but that's how much power was on the shot. Flew past him. No chance. And Wrexham again on the opening day have dropped points from a winning position in added on time. Last season they lost every point they thought they had with 2 late goals added on time by Southampton. This time it is just the 2 points they're dropping, not the 3. Literally right on the edge. 18.5 yards out. And instead of trying to go over the wall and under the crossbar, he's whipped it to the goalkeeper's side. He got a right hand to it, but not enough to stop it storming the top left corner. And it's absolute scenes at the Cardiff City Stadium. And for the way they've played and for the patience they've had, they've probably just about deserved that. Incredible moment for Ruben Colwill. He scored a free kick on the opening day last season in their 2-1 win to Peterborough. It's not a win this time around, it's just a draw, but against a very solid Wrexham side who will walk away with just the point to share. The referee has blown the full-time whistle. That was the last action of the game. What a outrageous end. What a goal by Ruben Colwill. He scored 2 in his last 4 at the back end of last season. He's starting this season with a goal as well. And with Craig Bellamy in attendance, the Wales manager, he'll be knocking on his door, looking to try and get in the Wales squad once again. Wow, what a moment. What a game. I enjoyed that. The South taking on the North in the Wales derby. There'll be a couple more of those fixtures this season, with Swansea also in the mix in the Championship this season. It's hands on head for some of those Wrexham supporters who have got to travel back 138 miles to get themselves back to Wrexham. But what a moment that is to finish the game with Ruben Colwill's free kick. That will be the end of the live stream. I hope you did enjoy. Make sure you like and subscribe if you have not already. There'll be another commentary coming at the end of this week. This weekend, just not quite sure what game yet, so subscribe with notifications on so you know exactly what game that will be. But here at the Cardiff City Stadium, it was Wrexham who took an early lead in the 3rd minute through Kiefer Moore, scoring his 7th goal in his 7th game ever against Cardiff in his career. And for the first 20 minutes, they were on top, creating lots of opportunities. But it was Cardiff who started to dominate the possession in the second half of the first half, and then into the second half as well. Wrexham had a handful of opportunities in the second half to kill the game. Sam Smith testing Nathan Trott at the back end of the game, but he was saved by the Cardiff City goalkeeper, who turned his loan move permanent this summer, and they almost got an equaliser before the equaliser. A dink ball to the back post by Capaccio was headed onto his own crossbar by Hyam. It was unbelievable defending, but it has not earned his team the 3 points. A foul on the edge of the box on Joel Colwill earned Cardiff a free kick, which was taken by his brother Ruben Colwill, who went to the goalkeeper's side, top left corner, swing, power, too much on it for Patterson. And at the end of this Wales meets up where South take on North, it ends all even, it ends all square. It finishes here. Cardiff City 1, Wrexham 1.